You're listening to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, welcome to episode 5 of the Death Rattle Crew. I am your host, Mike Tattoo Hearn. This is a Hearthstone podcast. With me today are my other hosts, Matt Mushu Hill.
Good evening.
And Tom Jasup Jessup.
How's it going?
Just a couple things before we get started. This week's going to be a little different. We are not going to do Deck of the Week. We're just going to do Meta-Anatomy. What we're going to talk about is just the month as a whole. We'll kind of discuss what we've seen just overall. Again, just a couple of housekeeping things. Remember, you can find us at www.deathrattlecrew.com, on Twitter at Death Rattle Crew, on YouTube, Death Rattle Crew. I mean, just Google Death Rattle Crew and you'll find us. Other than that, we'll go ahead and jump into Meta-Anatomy. See you in a second. Welcome to Meta-Anatomy, your one weekly stop for everything meta in Hearthstone. I'm joined today again by Mushu and Just Soup. So, guys, meta this month. We're not even going to talk about the week. We're going to do the whole month. What do you think? It's been, I mean, Mushu, you were saying earlier, it's been fun and interesting, but
it's been a fun month. It's definitely one of the better months, I'd say, in my Hearthstone playing days. We've had it's just because it's changed so much over the 4 weeks. We started. What did we start? We started with a lot of handlock and then mech mage and just and now here we are at the end of the month with oil rogue. And just and
people
somewhere in the middle of the
honestly, I think in the beginning just to gain a lot of rank. I think you're gonna see that in every time a season turns, you're gonna see handlock because it's just gonna help people gain rank really, really quickly. But
I think
it'll
that was
always
because
probably fall off.
go ahead, Mushu.
Yeah, but it was safe. People.
Uh-oh.
He's kill.
He'll be back. That Australian up.
Oh God. Matt,
That
why?
Australian internet.
Oh, wait, there he is.
It's so strange because when I disappear, I can still hear you guys.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear. It's yeah. Don't badmouth me, Tom. Yeah, no, dude, I can hear I can still. I just keep talking until you say something back. Yeah. Anyway, what I was trying to say is handlock is good because people thought it was going to be amazing after GVG. It was for a bit. Then everyone figured out what GVG was about and realized it definitely slipped down a few tiers down into the the pool that is 85% of the decks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sort of it definitely died off a bit because, I mean, on paper it looked amazing. You got Recombibulators to heal the Giants. You've got Antique Healbot. You've got, you can even play Mal'Ganis, I guess. And it's just, it was cheeky. It was very nice. You got those couple of tech cards that definitely gave it. I played it a lot, and it just felt like I can tap about 6 million times more because I have 2 Antique Healbots, and it just I have some good healing. But yeah, it didn't end up being that good in the long run. I think most recently, Life Coach was playing it in King Gwyn, and he was doing all right with it. But I think that's more of an experience pick kind of thing rather than let's all play handlock because it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's like people that, Amaz was playing Priest when Priest was horrible and doing great with it. I think once you know a class or a deck, I don't know. I feel like you can go anywhere with it.
That was one of the things.
Yeah, you can take anything to legend. I think is the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen I was seeing a lot of people play Zoo, which we'll talk about later. But I saw a lot of people playing Zoo up in rank 4, 3, 5 area. And I saw a decent, not like a lot amount of hand lock. But people were winning with this stuff. Like they got up to rank 4, rank 3 at like February 24-ish, 25th, I think. Around there was when I first got into rank 4, rank 3. And so I mean they had plenty of time to take their decks to legend. I don't think it's going to get there as quickly as other decks. I don't think it's going to get there with more consistency, and you're probably not going to see as much as them, or you're definitely not going to see as much, Zoolock, Handlock, whatever, as other decks. But I think it's definitely possible to take it to legend. Something that kind of bothers me is that I never really get to see Priest much on the tier list or high up on the tier list. But whenever I play up against Priest, it is always a hard matchup.
Yeah, you were saying that, I think, last week, the week before, that you've been seeing a lot of Priest. I wasn't seeing them until last week. And like I've said in the last couple of weeks, I've been playing a lot of Druid, and so they're not bothering me. But I've seen, I'm happy when I see them because unless, here's the thing, they'll get me if they get out early, injured Blade Masters and heal them. Just because that 7 health is hard for me to deal with my Ramp Druid, because really the only removal I have is minions, or I have to use a swipe and a Wrath. With 2 cards to get rid of 1 is kind of that's, if they don't get them out, or if they get them out late, usually I win because they can't do anything against 4-tack minions. But yeah, I have been seeing a lot more of them. I don't know if they've been consistent. I don't know how well they're doing on ladder necessarily, but I mean, I'm seeing more of them.
Shudder's big. Shredder's a huge card. I feel like every deck that calls itself mid range is at least running 1 copy of Shredder.
Right.
So
that is the definition.
I can't answer this. So.
Shredder's kind of like the cheap Dr. Boom. Everyone has one.
Yeah. This month has been really good in terms of, as what we were saying before, you can take it to legend. You could take literally anything to legend, I think, by today, because earlier on we were saying, at least I was saying, Shaman is crap. No, I haven't seen a Shaman in forever. And same thing with the Rogue. Neck minute, we have Mech Shaman, which I think during the middle of the month was like the tyrant of the ladder. And then
it was a fun deck.
Well,
yeah, it was really cool, really explosive and volatile.
Well, and the reason why we saw it is because we brought it up on the show. I mean, that's why it happened, right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, it was Firebat listened to us, and he was like, "Oh shit,
I gotta jump on this. These guys know what they're talking about."
We're influencing the meta 1 deck at a time.
That's right. Maybe except Control Warrior. I don't know.
Actually, I haven't seen much Control Warrior.
Yeah, it's the lowest on my played against.
Yeah,
I've got I think I played.
I did play up against a gold. Like I was in rank 6-5 at the time. I did play up against a golden legend card back Control Warrior that after every time he killed one of my creatures, he said, "Sorry about that." Thank you. Like,
I would scroll straight away because it's like he's gonna tilt me, and there's gonna be a foot going through a monitor at some point.
and then after the game, he had the audacity to add me. So I
he told me about this.
He won.
Oh, he did.
He won, and then he added me. I was like, "Are you like? You're seriously Hitler? You're literally Joseph Stalin. Like you're a terrible human being."
You were talking about that. I haven't been. I hear whether it's other podcasts or live streams where people are talking about being added and harassed. I have not been added in probably a year. I don't know. Maybe just after beta. Maybe I'm just getting lucky, but I haven't seen it.
It's happened twice. It's happened with that guy.
What kind? I feel like you would play. Do you play safer sort of decks? You're not playing the Face Hunter. You're not playing Zoo.
No. Well, is that why?
That's probably why. Because I get it. I get it. Like particularly sort of like last year, in early January, I got it a lot where people would add me and abuse me.
What were you playing? Like Face Hunter?
I was playing like the remnants of Zoolock /
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of Face Hunter.
Zoolock's not that cancerous. It's just small.
That was like the deck I played all my games in like last year was Zoolock, and that's when I guess was the peak of being added and abused.
December was the first time I actually made a good deck, and that was Zoolock. I'd been playing it a while before, but I didn't have it all the way built, and I had like some really like old ass version that was pre-Nax, and I was running that, and it was fun as hell. But I finally updated it like beginning of December. And I was like, I'm gonna get decent rank this season, and I got 10 that season, and it was pretty fun. I loved Zoo, so happy about that.
Speaking of how much we love Zoo, Zoo is 1 year old, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy birthday, Zoo!
Happy birthday, Zoo! Yes. So someone on Reddit managed to dig up the post Reynad posted it about a year ago. It was a year ago, like 23 hours ago, so just over a year old. And he was talking. The original post was, people kept asking me how I would update the warrior aggro deck that I got Legend for free, and the honest answer is to play this instead. And that's I guess a deck tech on that deck. For those of you sick of every budget deck being aggressive, I'll have a deck tech up for the budget control deck as soon as well. But yeah, main link is sort of like linking off to Zoo. I guess nobody knew what he was about to unleash on the world. The best deck ever.
Oh man.
Budget decks. Speaking of, one of which we have seen a lot of, or I have seen a lot of, and Tempo Storm has released their tier list where it's being up at the top, is Midrange Hunter. Really freaking good deck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad it came back because that was my favorite deck last season.
It was really shit for a long time because of like how good Face Hunter was with the Undertaker, but since that's not a thing anymore. Like people often, the way balancing can generally work is like at one stage, as I said, mid range was bad, but everything got brought down a peg with the Undertaker nerfs. Everything got is more like equal, and maybe mid range Hunter just is like that little nose ahead of the next deck, and that's why it seems to be good again.
Yeah. I mean, I watched some of the Pinnacle 3 and some of the Hearth stats yesterday. They had tournaments on. Everyone's running Druid and then a mid-range Hunter.
Yeah.
You'll see a Face Hunter every now and then, but
that's I guess that's their like standard like deck that they bring first.
Everybody has a Druid, and then most people. Sometimes you'll see someone that has a Mech Mage and a Hunter. Sometimes they run both, but usually it's one or the other. But yeah, even on ladder, my win percentage versus them is under 50%. It's a solid deck. Because they can get off some
Druid against
Hunter. Yes, yeah, because they've got that early game burn that it doesn't matter if I put up a wall because they can just get around it, with the hero power.
You need to stabilize.
Couldn't fucking beat them ever.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I beat one guy when he disconnected, and then I beat a guy. I got a free win there, and then I beat one guy once legitimately, and I guess it was just because he wasn't pulling any cards and he misplayed. He played.
That'll lose you a game. Don't draw anything and then play misplay the cards you get.
He played Ancient of Lore and didn't heal against Hunter.
Oh yeah.
He needed the heal.
That's I find myself
on board if he didn't.
If I'm like below 20 health and it's that turn or whatever, turn 7, or even if I innervate, I'm usually not drawing cards with that. I'm usually healing because I know I'm going to need it. I know the wall will come up eventually and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
but that'll kill me if they get out enough early game, which normally they do. As it happens, animal companion's always a heifer. Always, it's never anything else. It's always the 4/2 with charge. So yeah,
I think I won a game the other day where I ended up with that time rewinding thing where you get to bounce it back to your hand.
Oh yeah.
Got double half to win. It's just
God,
I'm the best at this game.
That's dirty.
It was good fun. I actually ended up adding a healing touch to my my mid-range combo druid.
Really?
Yeah, because for like just because there was so much burn earlier on with the hunters, particularly the face hunters and even mech mage, it seemed to help have a little bit there. It was just sort of like a way to give me a little bit more of a chance when I do eventually stabilize, so I don't get double kill commanded, don't get fireballed, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
I feel like that's a better when anti-killbot was announced. I didn't I don't really like the card because of how expensive it is. I know, you're doing, basically you get a healing touch within a 2 cost 3/3, which is good. That's good stats, I think. But it's the fact that it takes up 5 of the 10 mana potentially that you could have. You don't want that as a 5 drop.
Turn. I see what you're saying.
Right. Like that's generally an end game. Well, in my mind anyway, the closer to the end of the game, the better. But if you don't want to drop that on turn 5, that's a weak turn 5 drop.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just getting zooed down. But I don't know.
I was explaining that to my brother earlier. How he's making the shaman mid-range deck, and he was really liking that. But he was like, "I think I'm gonna run Vitality Totem," and I was like, "Should probably run Bot."
Yeah.
He was like, "No, it comes out quicker and it can heal more." And I'm like,
"That's the dream."
When
honestly, bad boy.
Let's be real. When do you want to heal for?
So I think it works.
Whatever.
I think it works when your opponent doesn't expect it. So tournaments, it's probably really good.
Yeah, tournaments and like lower ranks. But
go ahead.
It works when it pops out of a shredder. That's when it works.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. It's not that. Well, I do know. It's not. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah.
I would rather have the heal bot, and let's be honest, it's only a matter of time, a matter of expansions before shamans end up with healing spells. Because as we've all played World of Warcraft, we know shamans have a multitude of healing spells.
Right.
What's World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
What game?
Once totems are a thing, like what's the? I'm gonna look up that spell real quick. What's the? All your totems become gods.
Ancestral.
Totemic Might. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once that card's actually good, or if there's something like that.
Totem Shaman 2016.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Confirmed DRC. Totem Shaman is a thing in the future. Get on that fire bat. Come on. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, when it pops out of a shredder, it's good. Or if it pops like a mech mage, if that pops out, or what's that? What's the
stable portal?
No, well, that or the minion that when you have a secret, it heals for 4 or 3 or whatever. What's that one called?
Oh, Illuminator or whatever it's called.
I think that's it.
So, yeah.
Jesus,
the healing secret dude.
I've seen that work on stream before, where it just popped out of a shredder and they had a secret. So
winning.
Yeah, Illuminator. That's it. Yeah, just couldn't do anything about it. It was behind a taunt too, so.
That's the art where it's like the gnome it's like the priest tier 9.
Yep. Yeah, 3 drop, 2/4 for 3. Yeah. Of course, where the dream happens sometimes with the randomness of GVG, which I'm glad. This month has been really, really interesting.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
I played. Go ahead.
I had a piloted shredder drop me out a pint-sized summoner today. Fan-fucking-tastic. It was so great. Just every turn. It's just like I dropped my Ancient of Law on turn 6. It's just like...
Yeah.
It was good fun. I had a fun time today.
Until
I got squished by a Revolutionary Totem Shaman. Nah, he just popped a bloodlust and just killed me. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
mid-range Shaman making a comeback, apparently. Like, I've seen a lot of it, and like, unlike Zulok, actually been performing decently.
Yeah, they've been destroying
to my understanding.
Yeah, it's I'm getting rid of their Whirling Zapomatics, but their crackles, they're getting lucky crackles.
Those damn lucky crackles.
Oh man.
Bones.
I've seen them run a Sylvanas reincarnate combo, and I think it's a little greedy. I think that deck's a little greedy, because they're running a Sylvanas.
No,
it's greedy. I'm sorry. Sylvanas is good alone, but then they're running.
I was gonna make that deck if I didn't have Sylvanas.
I know it's greedy. You're taking up one because 2 reincarnates is that's really greedy. If you're running 1, still you're taking up a card space that you could have Hex or something else in. But then they're running like Fugan and Stalag, or they're running the Sneasel Shredder. So you're putting all these big minions in there. I think it's a little greedy. So when I lose against it, I hate it because it's like, oh, you are so greedy.
Exactly. That's one of the
Exactly.
problems I'm having right now with like a lot of things in Hearthstone. Like there are a lot of really cool interactions and a lot of really cool decks that can be made, but they are kind of getting shit on by like mid-range decks.
Yeah.
Like mid-range hunter, mid-range druid. Oil rogue is by technically, like I would say technically a mid-range combo deck. There was another mid-range paladin is also another thing.
Yeah.
I more so control paladin. I think has been just wrecking me.
I know a lot of people have been running that and have done really well this season.
I'm really sad that like I don't get to see hobgoblin decks. Like it's ever gonna be a thing. Like
I'm so happy they're gone.
No. Well, here's the thing. Me and Tom played a couple games, and I think we played the first one. I forgot what we played.
I can't remember which time this was.
Anyway, you switched to Rogue, Oil Rogue, and so I was like, oh, I'll pull it a couple. So the first one I pulled out was Hobgoblin. Nothing. It's not fast enough. You've got the removal to get rid of all my small minions.
Now, if you could do it to if it said whenever you summon, whenever you summon a
minion, if it wasn't just play, if it was summoned to, it'd be probably.
I think it would maybe be better.
Yeah.
Because Hobgoblin Pally would be so good.
Oh, it would
stupid. It would be broken as shit. Because like implosion. It's like
well, you'd have to make Hobgoblin like the Starving Buzz, where it's like a 5-drop.
that wisp. That what is it?
I have seen that played on stream, and
it's like a pun. It's just like the pun name one.
Oh yeah,
Dark Whispers.
Fired the person who named it.
Yeah, Dark Whispers. Yeah, the person got fired who named the card. Yeah, imagine just getting crushed by 5 like 3/3 wisps. It's just like, yeah, Hearthstone, yeah. No, I think it's Hobgoblin's like.
I can see why it's not.
Yeah, the people were talking about it on stream, and
I would like to see. I'm fairly certain that Blizzard would, test things like this. I'd be interested to see like test videos of them playing with it, like that.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they were like, well, let's try if it with summons too, and it was probably like, oh nope, this is broken.
Wow, imagine Hobgoblin with summoned with the pre-nerf Undertaker. It's just
oh man.
Yeah, no, we probably need to take a shower after that.
Oh no,
I played.
I don't like that.
A while ago, when Hobgoblin decks were really going around, I played up against a Hobgoblin Paladin who didn't read the card.
Oh
and
yeah.
He goes, Hobgoblin's 3-drop, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's 3-drop. Okay, so I remember this correctly. He goes, coin turn 2, Hobgoblin. Next turn, muster for battle. Sorry that happened. And then he stops and goes, concede.
He just has to go like cry.
Well,
I
screwed up, man.
Well, the problem was he didn't.
I hope to God he crafted those Hobgoblins.
The problem was he didn't start with well met. You always start with well met when you play. That's the only amount you need is well met. That's all you need for anything.
I feel like if you're playing Paladin, you're obligated to say, instead of well played at the end of the game, you're obligated to say well met.
Yeah. Yeah.
I choose death. Well met.
Oh man. I did have a game this week. I was playing my druid against a one of those Blingtron mech mages.
Yeah.
And
they're dicks.
It was the turn. Basically, it was the last turn, and then it was over to my turn. Why did they miss? They missed lethal because of Blingtron.
Oh man. I have a story.
They had something on the board, and I had a 5/1 and something else. And they had another 5/1 and something else. The thing is he got greedy, so he throws a fireball at me. He's got Blingtron, goes to the face with the weapon. And then his next decision is, okay, do I attack with this 5/1 or do I trade the 5/1s? And his mistake was he didn't trade the 5-1, so I was able to swing with a 7-1. What was that? What's that weapon? Why? Oh, the lore nerds are gonna crucify me for this.
You got this.
What is it called?
You can do it, son.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
Give me stats.
Gorehowl. The Blingtron gave me a Gorehowl.
Okay.
So I was able to swing at face. Yeah, and I had a Wrath. I top decked a Wrath. So
wow.
For those at home, always clear the board.
Yeah.
And then always ask Blingtron for a Gorehowl.
That's right.
I played a couple games. Like I had 2 really, really bad misplays. Like games when you lose because you misplay suck more than any other game. Like I could be playing up against Legend Cardback Golden Control Warrior and lose terribly, and it would not be anywhere near losing because like a tiny misplay. Like I was playing up against a face hunter and I could have killed him in 2 turns. I didn't do the math, and I had 1 mana left over in this 1 turn, and I passed after I swung, and I realized, oh shit, I should have played Whirling Blades because then it would have hit. I was like, nah, it's fine. I have lethal next turn. I had my Fireball on hand or whatever, and because I was playing Mech Mage at the time, and came to my turn, I was still alive, Fireballed, hit everything in the face, and I was like, I'm 2 damage off.
Oh god, what have I done?
Or I played the Whirling Blades off or whatever, and like I'm 1 damage off or whatever, and I didn't have the mana. And I was like, yep, I suck. Fast forward next day, same exact thing happened, except with I mirror entity'd the 2/4 Druid card, the
Keep the Grove.
Keep the Grove.
Okay.
I had that, and I had Reversing Switch in hand, and 1 mana left over at the end of the turn. Pass. Realized that I had Reversing Switch, and I was like, son of a bitch. He was 2 health off. It was so not fair.
That's right. 24 hours from now, it'll happen again, and that's it. You won't.
Well, I could have won if I would have bounced back my freaking antique heal bot and healed myself through the damage or whatever. Shame on me. Terrible person.
But this is you've done a lot better
underrate
this month.
those spare parts.
You've done a lot better this month, haven't you, Mr. Soup? Is this the highest ranking you've achieved?
This is the highest.
Talk about that a little bit, because I mean, I'm impressed, man.
So I learned a lot. I learned a lot.
Meeting.
I learned, well, for one, that you have to not be super hardcore grinding at the end of the month. You want to do that at the beginning of the month, so that you can get through all of the bull crap and then play up against decks that you know you're gonna be playing up against, like meta decks. I also learned that if you lose games, it's okay, because in the beginning, I got really, really jaded because I was like, I don't want to lose rank 10. Like, that's nothing in comparison to losing rank 4. Like, losing rank 3. I lost rank 3. I got 5-star rank 3 at least 5 times. Couldn't get to rank 2. And like, oh god, I remember specifically going from bottom of rank 3 to top of rank 5 to top of rank 3 to mid rank 4 to top of rank 3 to bottom rank 3 to top of rank 3, and I was like, this time I'm gonna get it, and then I just quit. Like, I got back into rank 4 and I was like, done. I can't.
My life is over. That's right.
I was playing a bunch of different decks too. I was playing I started out the second half of the season playing mid-range hunter, because mid-range hunter made the really cool comeback. I really like mid-range hunter because I get to play hunter and not play face. It's great. So I did that. I made Oil Rogue finally. I cracked Blood Mage Thalnos.
Oh, nice.
So I got that. So Oil Rogue is completely built. That's the first deck with a legendary in it that I have completely built. I'm so happy. Mid-range hunter I played. I don't have Rag. I mean, whatever.
Man.
I have Dr. Boom for that. Mech Mage, I was playing. I really enjoy Mech Mage, but I don't have the most important card in the deck, in my opinion. The legendary. Antonitis.
Okay, yeah.
And there's just been a lot of games where I'm like, oh, hey, look at all these spare parts in my hand that I can't freaking use, and you're at 6 health.
I don't know if like Antonius is definitely an important part of the deck, but I definitely don't think it's like not runnable because Antonius isn't in the deck.
No, I think it's a contingent.
So many ranks because of that deck, but
it's a contingency card.
So powerful that if you don't have, you're putting yourself at a detriment playing that. Well, not by playing that deck, but it
gives you a plan B.
Necessary for that deck. You can play it without it, but I don't think you're gonna get to Legend easily without that card. It's so good.
I think you could definitely like substitute something like Pyroblast or Alexstrasza even.
I have seen that. Yeah.
I would like
just four cards you don't have. This is why you haven't played Control, because you always want to play Control Warrior, but you haven't been able to craft cards yet. And as soon as you have everything, you're gonna get like 500 rank wins with Control Warrior. You're gonna make Legend.
No. So Tom, before you say anything, me and Tom were talking about this earlier. It was kind of I was trolling him, and he said, "No, I will never. I can have every card in the game. I will never play Control Warrior. I will never." What was you said? I'll never play Hitler. I think is what your quote was. Yeah.
I will never be Hitler. I will take that back. Honestly, if
oh wow.
Hey,
anything he says, kids.
Most people, most human beings on the planet. I can at least admit that I was wrong. All right, so give me some credit there.
Oh man.
So I will play it in this context. If I have the cards that I just have them. I'm not gonna craft them. If I have the cards, and it's one of the best decks in the meta, I'll probably play it.
It'll always be one of the best decks in the meta.
Like if it hits tier 1 again, like high tier 1, I'll play it. I think it's always top tier 2. Like right now, Tempo Storm says, what is it? Oil Rogue, Midrange Hunter, Face Hunter, Mech Mage, tier 1. Tier 2, Midrange Hunter, Control Warrior, Midrange Mech Shaman, Midrange Paladin. I think Midrange Druid is the best deck right now. Control Warrior is bottom or top tier 2. Kind of on the fence. If not Midrange Druid, it's Oil Rogue. It is best deck.
I've been seeing a lot of that.
Really freaking good. Really, really good. But it's probably the hardest deck in the game right now, and it's so fun.
Yeah, I tried playing it. I've tried, I guess, a couple weeks now. I tried it this last week too. It's I haven't played it enough to figure all the ins and outs. I've watched it played on stream, but it's there are like you have to know you have to memorize every single card in your deck, so you know, okay, there's still a chance for me to win if I do this, if I draw this.
You have to go over these math problems
before
you play the game.
Yeah.
Like because you're gonna be thinking so much like, okay, I can prep sprint and get these cards.
Yeah.
What answers am I looking for? He's got X amount of things on board, and you have to know when to play Blade Flurry correctly, and you have to know when to trade things to the face.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the hardest deck in the game. It's not super difficult to learn how to play. It's just it is the hardest deck in the game, I think.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you're gonna be going to time on a lot of turns. And you need to make sure that you know the math. And missing lethal is a terrible thing. And that like you don't. And the thing that I like about it is it's not super RNG based. But if you miss two things, if you miss lethal, the two absolute truths, if you miss lethal, you probably lost. And if you play Fan of Knives, you're gonna draw backstab. That is the absolute truths I've known.
Yeah, like you're saying, it's not really the only RNG is really the card draw. I think everything else is your calculation.
Card draw and oil.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's it. I mean, and with the oil, I think the better player is going to try to, put the odds in their favor. By making sure that the oil goes on the minion that for example, like a minion that they
that can attack this
right, that can attack exactly, not one that they just played, that one that they can attack with. How can I best force the outcome that I'm looking for? And so that's all math. It's not really RNG. And then okay, I'm going to use an eviscerate to clear this minion because I know I've got this card and this card and this card coming, or I already have it in my hand. So versus, okay, I know I have to save. I cannot kill this minion on the board. I have to use this on face. Otherwise, I might as well not. You might as well concede right here. And I think those are the tough decisions that you make. When do you use cards and when? I think that's what makes it difficult, because it's not just it's not like, face hunter or anything. Well, let's draw a card. Okay, throw it on the board. Okay, that's not difficult. You're still making some decisions, but this, you're making some really, it takes a lot of heart.
Yeah.
There are repercussions for your decisions.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's
ripple effects.
Yeah.
I've noticed with no other deck have I felt this feeling. Like, I always feel like I'm losing when I'm playing that deck.
Yeah.
Unless they have a clear board.
And I always feel like I'm winning when I play against them until the end of the game.
Yeah, I know.
So one of you is winning until they lose, the other one's losing until they win.
Right.
It's what you're saying. It's like,
yeah.
It's so shaky, because it's like, all right, well, got a Violet teacher on board, and you got a Huffer and a Sludge Belcher and a Rag, and top deck, I'm gonna backstab your Rag, and then I'm gonna Tinker and it hit a token, whatever, Blade Flurry, space. Blade Flurry changes games. Blade Flurry has won me actually way too many games.
Oh, that card.
Blade Flurry is the game. It's just when you, because it's just it's like an uber dumb point turnaround.
Yeah.
When you can get a buffed attack off.
Yeah.
Hit with the minion that you buffed, and then Blade Flurry and hit them again. It's just like, well, shit.
Yeah, you'll I've seen it before in stream where they'll make a brand new dagger, and then put the poison on it. Wait a turn, come back next turn, put the other poison on it. Then they'll oil it. Yep. Then they'll hit face, and then they'll Blade Flurry, and it's just ridiculous. So much damage.
Don't go aggressive with your dagger. With your dagger, excuse me. You don't usually go for that one damage. You want to save the durability on your weapons is so important.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's so fun to play. Very shaky. But I think I've never played a weapon deck before. I've never played a deck with weapons in it, really. I played Hunter, which is face Hunter herder, go to face, or run the Eagle Horn bow and pop secrets. That's not too difficult. But most of the time you're okay with trading into things or hitting face. In Rogue, you have to know when it's okay to hit face with a one mana or one attack dagger.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've lost by 1 point. I needed one more point, and I was like, I could have swung that early game. So.
Well, you need to post a picture of Forsen in here. It's 1 damage of lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Tempo Rogue being a thing, and it was the same sentiment where it was, okay, that something important is always knowing when to or when not to hit face with a dagger. And I feel like it's even more important in this deck. There's even less times where you make a dagger, you got nothing else to do, there's nothing in your hand, and you're still not going to face because you never know what you're going to pull next turn.
Yeah.
In before Harrison Jones.
Yeah. And then there's that. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I haven't, because of that, I don't see, and I think some of it's the cost is the Assassin's Blade.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of people playing that.
It's not. I think it's honestly though. I don't even think it's worth it.
Too expensive.
Way too much mana, and you don't give a shit.
It's the Dr. Boom of weapons. It would be if everyone played Assassin's Blade, then everyone would play Harrison. I guess in that regard, it's if all the oil rigs are playing it, then you would see 100% of decks having Harrison Jones just because value.
Because that's even a card where you don't even wait for them to put poison on it. That's just
you kill that instantaneously.
4 durability. That's so much.
That's so many cards.
So many
cards. Oh my god. The number of times where I think I'm winning, and then turn 7 happens, and they've got they've got something in their hand, and then they top deck a sprint and play it on turn 7. I'm like, oh, I'm doing great. They're gonna pull cards, but we're talking about turn 7. I've got a board full of stuff. No worries. And then the next turn, the switch goes off, and my board's cleared, and then the next turn, I'm dead. How many times it's I've burnt through all their cards. I've got card advantage, I got board advantage, and it doesn't matter.
And then they dropped the base with South Sea Deckhand.
That's
and
right.
Won. Ha-ha! And you're dead.
Aha!
Oh, that card. I like that card.
We might be seeing some South End. We might be
There's so
seeing
much you
some
can do.
yeah.
Sorry, I
Go
just talked over you.
Wait, it's like we're trying to walk around each other. We just did about 4 times.
Yeah.
You go, sir. You tell people.
No, you go. No, you go. Oh,
No,
okay, I'll go. Oh, I'll go. No, you go. Okay.
Mike, you go.
All
right, I'll go.
I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we're gonna see some South Sea deckhands this week, young Tom, on the Nostalrias. That's the side point. But yeah, we'll go.
Yes,
We'll be
so
feeling
excited.
we'll be wrecking some of those guys. But yeah, no.
Mhm.
Continue. What were you gonna say?
This will take a couple seconds just to congratulate the Nostalrius team for coming out with the new Vanilla WoW server that's all 1x experience rate, 1x gold rate, etc., etc.
Please no
like-
DDoS, Reno.
Yeah, there you go. I guess that's really important. I never really had a problem with that stuff. But I'm really stoked because I'm sick and tired of playing Premium WoW, and I'm done with LFR and its tardness. And can't wait to have different ranks of heal on my bar. So
Oh God. Oh,
And
don't even.
It's all about
God,
the
it's so good.
fun of learning your Hearthstone history as well. I think that's anyone who very much enjoys Hearthstone, you should definitely take the time to play, or at least watch. I guess that there's a few series of videos on YouTube that explain the lore very well and very interesting.
Yeah.
because
Uh,
it's so rich.
what's his name? I've watched a lot of those, and they're well. There's I guess there's
Just-
two, but there's that main guy.
There's Danger Dolan,
Yeah.
and Noble. I
Yes.
think Noble 87.
He
is the other
does
guy.
some really good stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
like
so don't crucify me, but I actually haven't finished Warcraft 3.
Oh
Neither have
my!
I
What? What?
I haven't.
I've watched the lore and stuff like. And I watched
You both are
I-
dead to me. Wow. You know,
Hey, it's age difference. It's only
oh
age.
my god! No, so
Like, I couldn't finish it.
the
I never had the time.
the gameplay I hate. I personally hate the heroes in it. Like, you know, if I want to play, I want to play an RTS, not a MOBA. So just give me the RTS. You know, if I want to play a MOBA, I'll go play a MOBA.
I mean,
So
I-
I know some people like it. I hate the hero system. But all that aside, because I've played every single one of them. Even back in the day, I had Warcraft 1 and 2. I got those for
I didn't
Christmas
play
and stuff.
Warcraft 1, but then again, I was like not.
Yeah, because that ran on
five,
like
I think maybe
DOS
I was
back then.
5, I just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I was young when it came out, but
Yeah.
anyway, 3
Yeah.
amazing storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I followed like the storyline of Arthas versus Illidan getting to the
Mhm.
throne. That's the thing. Like I
Mhm.
know all that, and I've watched videos on that, but I just haven't played the game. Like I'm
Mm.
familiar. I turn around and I see 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 Warcraft novels.
Yeah,
So she lectured me on. Nah, they're not mine. They're my mates. I was inherited them when he moved. But
Keep
yeah,
on that. I got a thing. Keep going.
yeah. I need to read
It's-
some of those books.
he's got to think. Yeah, I think. But yeah, back to the main point of there's such a rich history. Like I've got a couple of friends who don't or haven't played any WoW, and it's just sort of like when you play Sylvanas Windrunner, how do you like not just get chills or something?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like, all that she's been through and who she is. And then
Right.
one thing I was working out before, I was trying to figure out like how many of the heroes are dead. And
oh yeah.
I came to 3, I think, because Garrosh recently dead, then Uther and
Mhm.
Gul'dan are all dead.
Yeah,
I think that's because
else?
Malfurion is still very much alive.
yeah,
Thrall, and
Yeah.
Anduin.
yeah. If we're just counting champions, not cards.
Yeah, and Rex. I'm not sure about Rexstar. I don't think he's dead, is he?
I haven't gotten that far into it. I
No,
don't know.
Rexar isn't dead, is he? I don't think he's dead.
I
He was
think
in
so.
he was in Vanilla WoW. I know that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he has a part to play somewhere in I've run across them in this recent expansion.
Yeah, when we were camping for Pound Fit,
Yeah.
running direct.
So I had to dig to the bottom of my box of books.
Is that a metaphor?
No, it's the Milkbone box.
Oh, okay.
Of books and Skadoosh.
Oh my.
Warcraft Archive. It's got the four original tales set in the world of Blizzard Entertainment epic game series.
That's like
Warcraft.
Looks like the Silmarillion of the Warcraft universe there.
So it's really like I started to read this, and it was kind of boring as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I read the prologue to the first story or whatever, and it was basically like 10 pages of 10 pages of mages talking about Deathwing. Like they were just talking about like the threat of Deathwing is a threat to Azeroth and things and stuff and junk, and like I was like, all right, we get it. He sucks. Let's move on.
To be fair, he does suck. I mean, come on. It's like aspect of the Titans, aspect of death given life by the Titans, goes insane, decides to start wrecking bitches. Know what you want?
Know what you want.
Nerds. I have like Halo books in here too, and like Warhammer books.
All right. So is this? Will we consider this rant of the week? Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Tangent of the year.
Yeah. So I'm going to spoil a little bit of next week. Right now, next week's going to be a little different. We'll talk about lore next week. Definitely.
I'm super stoked.
So it'll be a little different than what we're normally doing. But anyway, back to meta.
Let's go. Let's talk about Hearthstone.
Yeah.
So should we? We'll just go down the list. Druid, and anything else to say about that? I mean,
it's super good, and Tempo Storm is wrong. They're wrong.
I can see nerf. I don't know. I think there might be a nerf for Druid.
Really?
I don't know. It's like I don't know if you've been like super comboed before. It's like
not always, but I have. Yes. Yeah. Are you talking where it was like Force on Nature, Savage? Yeah. Right.
I think if they do nerf it, they have to make they have to make like either Savage Roar cost 4. Or
I think that's what.
Nature cost 7.
Okay. So just so you can't, or you've got to save both. No, even then you couldn't do it. You'd have to save your coin.
You can do
math.
No, you can still do it. It would just be a turn 10 thing.
Oh, right, and you'd have to save them both. That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
and you can still do it like turn 7, turn 9 if you have coin innervate.
So basically, your thought is sacrifice the ramp for the super combo. So you don't get both.
I don't think it necessarily deserves a nerf. Don't get me wrong on this. I don't think it like absolutely needs one. I'm just thinking like if that would be the nerf, that's probably
I think slowing it down by a turn would be enough to, because I don't it's obviously because I've been playing Druid nonstop for the past couple of days, but I feel like I've won a huge amount of like too many games with Force of Nature.
Yeah, but what turn are you normally winning on? How slow or how quick is too quick when it's like turn 10 or turn 9 plus? You know what I mean?
Well, I draw more to like the volatility of innovate and winning on turn 7, that sort of thing. That's where I guess it's sort of
okay.
Is innovate shenanigans and like not being able to. Can't play around innovate. Like
maybe they should make innervate cost 2 mana.
But be good. You've got to have 3 cards in your hand. Do you still feel like that's too much?
When you put it like that, like when the original the what was it, Organized Soul Priest and Circle of Healing combo was like sort of, I guess, discovered, people were like, oh no, 2 cards in your hand are too damn hard to get. And then fast forward to 2014 World Championships with the OTK Warrior deck, where you have like Raging Worgen, Warsong Charger, and a bunch in tones. Like I don't know. I don't think holding cards like 3, I don't think is particularly hard, particularly when there's 2 like innovates and a lot of decks lead.
Yeah,
not a problem.
you've got 2 of each.
I'm talking about 2 copies, and like where it really starts to become a problem is where you have 2 copies of all of those. But as I say, it's one of those things where it's like it's not like in desperate need of a nerf. I can just see it perhaps like getting one in the future and maybe just adjust to 10, because like it does a lot of damage. And I think prior to that, the last big combo they nerfed, like with obviously Leroy and Miracle
Yeah.
Road,
I was just thinking about that.
Was the hand lock 20 damage combo, which was Leroy power overwhelming and then face fist manipulate, which was 20 damage cards.
Yeah.
And it's just shit like that. I don't know. It just seems like,
well, they have the hand lock combo deck now. That's Arcane Golem, power overwhelming. Same thing.
It's 16 damage. So that's 16.
Yeah. If you double power overwhelming, it's 24.
You can't power without the coin, because it's 10 mana exactly. With so without the coin, then I guess. But that's sort of like that makes it a 5-card combo if you have to have second power overwhelming and the coin. That's sort of like
I think the whole point of the deck was from when my buddy played it. The whole point of the deck was attrition. Like you wait, you can't do it until turn 10 anyways. So you control out, you trade, you gain health, you do whatever you have to do, and you life tap almost every turn. It's almost like a backwards face hunter.
That's sort of what I do with the druid, is just control, push for damage a little bit here and there, and then eventually ramp up to getting like the finisher combo. Like sometimes that's just using Savage Roar, but most of the time it's Force of Nature Savage Roar.
Yeah.
And just want to go back to Oil Rogue for a second. Something I've noticed really cool about Oil Rogue is that it has a couple different playstyles because of the matchup. Like if you're going up against an aggro deck, you save all of your creatures for, removal. Like SI7 Agent is a removal spell. But if you're playing up against control, like Pally, Control Warrior, Pally is kind of an exception. Control Warrior or like long range games, kind of like Druid, I've noticed a little bit. You want to be a little bit more aggressive. That's why I like that. Mid range Druid, I don't think. I haven't played as it. I played against it. Can it do that? Do you think? Does it have the potential to be versatile and aggressive when it needs to be, or is it always just going to be a mid range? Just
you mean Druid?
Kind of game? You can definitely play the mid range Druid aggressively, like just by function of being able to play the 5-drop bear in cat form and just do 4 damage. Like I had an aggressive game today, but I had an aggressive game because I started with Force of Nature Savage Roar in my hand. So I was like, oh crap. I can just push, 10-9, win.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways, I guess.
I feel like that's the only way it can be aggressive though, is with the Innervate. Innervate out of 5-drop. I'm playing a version, basically, think of it as Strive Crow's Druid, where he doesn't run the combo. But that's really the only aggressive plays I have. And once that's gone, it's gone. I'm shut down for a couple turns after that play. I don't know. I'm interested to, because like you were saying, if you add a mana to Savage Roar, that gives you an extra turn. A minimum turn. I guess turn 6. I guess if you save coin,
Anyway, that's not going to happen. But in before.
Right.
In before Tac 2 gets wrecked by turn 5 double combo, turn 5 combo. Yes. Anyway.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought I'd hear the day where someone would say, Druid might be getting a nerf.
It's just something I can see. Like I don't know. Innovate is
necessary. I can see it though. But
playing a lot of Druid makes me think that maybe people are sick of being innovated against, because it's like You can't play around it. The one sort of situation I really saw that started to think that was shitty for innovate is like turn 1 having 2 innovates in your hand is really, really bad. Or like I'd say it's bad just as often as it's good. Like coin, because if they have an answer, then you're basically cooked.
Yeah, you mean if you had like a 5-drop and 2 innervates.
Yeah, and then the priest just deaths it. It's just
because you're
shit.
If you're not done, you're fine. You know, potentially. Yeah, but otherwise, you're boned for several turns.
Yeah. But I think part of the reason like innovate could be construed as needing a nerf is like particularly because Druid can innovate into cards that then give tempo.
Yeah.
Or like at least hand advantage. So if you innovate into Ancient of Law, you're getting like a creature on board and you're getting, your 2 cards, and it's just sort of start building up massive tempo, particularly like, or even on turn 5, same thing on turn 5, if you go into Dr. Boom, it's just, it's scary, I guess. It's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Just that sudden jump.
Yeah.
So we went over Oil Rogue, got Mid-Range Hunter, we got Mid-Range Druid.
Yeah, talk about Druid. Mage.
Mech Mage has been falling off.
Yeah, I think it's just like everything else. Everyone knows either how to play it.
Yeah.
So now they know how to play it against it.
It's a fun deck. Like,
yeah.
I think it's people know how to play it now, and people expect, okay, you played a secret. That's freaking Mirror Entity. So
yeah.
I was considering running a 1-of duplicate just to screw with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to play around those mirror entities, and then they realize
I think Counterspell would be arguably better in that
at the
situation.
beginning of this season, I saw a lot of people running Counterspell.
Yeah, I have Loatheb, so I feel like I shouldn't really run that. Like, I would rather run Duplicate because it's all about the tempo game.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand Counterspell.
I hadn't seen a lot of them. Again, I only got so far I've only gotten to rank 9, so I feel like if I got lower,
that's hardcore.
So hardcore.
HK,
especially I think I only put in like less than 80 games this season, so I haven't played a lot.
I put in like 80 games Tuesday.
I mean,
and gained -5 stars.
I mean, I feel like for playing that many games, I think I went pretty far. But I mean, my win rates, like I said, I'm in between 63 and 70% win rate with this deck, so I'm pretty happy with it. But I think the mech mages were coming. I wanted
mech mages coming.
Prepare. I want to put in a Kazan Mystic. But I just hadn't seen enough of them at this point.
It's so good. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it if you can.
Well, I know I've seen it and I've done it before where you play it and they just instantly concede.
Yeah.
Because it
well
just yeah, exactly. Or well met. And then it's over.
I think that's one of the reasons Druid did. Because I played Druid at the start of the season and then got wrecked and then picked it up in the last week. And one of the things I attribute its recent success for me to is the downswing in the amount of mech mages, because mech mage shits on Druid, I think. Well, at least in my experience, is shat on Druid.
Yeah.
Because of Druid has a really tough time with dealing with mirror entity unless running zombie.
Yeah.
If you have your zombie chows, I guess would have been a better tech. And Savage did this towards the start of the month. He ran a Druid with 2 zombie chows, and he did really well. And I think that's probably what I was missing. But yeah, zombie chow, it would have been really good. But yeah, other than that, we definitely struggle against mirror image. The best circumstance I think mirror image is really good is when you already have something on board, and you can play like a Keeper of a Grove and kill something with the Keeper of a Grove, and then kill the copy Keeper of the Grove. But other than that,
Keeper of the Grove is probably, when you're playing mid-range Druid against friggin' Mech Mage, Keeper of the Grove is probably one of the better cards you can give him.
Is it it is, because other than that, in my deck personally, I know a lot of other decks are running it, is the Shade of Naxxramas. Problem is
I love it.
Yeah. And my difficulty is, okay, do I give them a Shade or do I give them a Keeper of the Grove?
Keeper.
I don't mind giving them a Keeper, but I'm using my utility as well. Now, if it's a Mech Mage and I'm killing, some low Bs, or if I'm already able to silence something. I'm trying to think of something silence. I don't know, something. Then it's great. But if it's, they've got a Yeti on the board and it's like, well, there's really no point in me silencing it, really. I mean, it helps, or it hurts them more than it helps me to silence it. But I also don't want to do 2 damage to a 5 health minion if I don't have anything on the board to clear it anyway. So it's kind of I'm wasting utility. So then it's, do you throw a shade down? Well, if they just leave the shade there, I'm screwed too. If it's late in the game, I'm fine. But if it's early in the game, it definitely puts a damper on the rant, because it's okay. They played a secret. I know exactly what that is. No, I'm not going to innervate out my 5/10 taunt card. That's not happening. Yeah,
I hate that thing so much.
I just, again, like I said, I hadn't seen a lot of them, or enough of them to warrant putting in a Kazan yet. I'd run into a lot of priests and a lot of oil rogues. So what I had was working really well.
There was a point at which I was playing up against, it was like all I was playing up against was like Hunter and Mage, and they were running so many secrets.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I was on Mystic going in.
2 of. Yeah.
Well, I ran a 1-0.
Did you? Okay.
I wasn't that dead set on it, but I had 2 pilot treaders, and I was like, same stats.
Yeah.
Run the Mystic. It did well.
I mean,
I think we had that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, and so before we go in, because I think we've talked about this one before we go into another class. Well, we'll talk about this at the end. We'll just go ahead and go to the next class.
Okay.
Paladins. I guess we've kind of talked about that. Anything else?
I think Paladin's pretty much the same as Control Warrior, except probably a little more popular. It's like good against pretty much a lot of stuff. Really good.
I don't know what list is being played more. Tempo Storm says that mid-range Paladin is tier 2, but I've seen a lot of people playing, Equality Pyromancer, Equality Consecrate on me a lot, and you don't really see the Pyromancer so much in mid-range. Sometimes you'll see Equality, maybe as a one-of, but I've had a little bit more, I wouldn't say problem, but I was having more games up against what seemed like Control Paladin.
I think mid-range Paladin would share quite a few of, I guess, the Control Pally elements.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a very
and unless you're running like a super slow deck, such as Control Warrior, you probably wouldn't see a lot of like what would really define Control Pally or what would distinguish Control Pally from mid-range Pally.
Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow.
Oh yeah.
Equality.
Cog Wrench, things like that.
And I think even both of them run like at least one copy of BGH. Sometimes the other tech card, Mind Control deck.
Yeah, I have not seen a lot of Mind Control decks lately.
I still run it, and it's oh my god, it's like it makes and breaks games. Like I've stolen, I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've stolen like the 25 percentile to win the game, and I've lost the 75% to like get destroyed, sort of thing.
Well, I feel like people are playing around. I mean, I'm still playing around it. I know better than to play that 4th minion, especially as my druid.
I play around it when I think it's necessary.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of it, and it's not so much, I'm playing around it, so no one's playing it. It's, because if you can tell your opponent's not going to throw down that 4th minion, and that's all you have in your hand, you're still going to throw it. Like you need something on the board, but
I think that's one of the biggest troubles I have like playing the druid is like, do I play the mind control deck?
Right.
But it's definitely, as I play more, it's obviously getting a lot easier to decide when and whether, like if I start with an opening hand, there's a lot more chance that I'll probably play it on turn 3 than anything.
Yeah.
And then like obviously drawing it sort of turn 5 or 6 is like, I'm gonna win this game and he doesn't know how. It's very. At the start of the season, I was running 2 big game hunters and 2 mind control techs, and I just remember having like one stage two of each in my hand and an innovate. I was like, nah, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
And then tuned it down to 1 of each, and it's been really good.
I need to try playing them again.
Druid for president.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen the
I'm sorry.
What is it? You just said, because it's either Equality Consecrate or Equality or Pyromancer. Pyromancer has been around for a while in that deck, but I've seen it a couple times, but not as much as, I mean, it used to be really prevalent back in the day. I guess it just depends on how much control you want. But I don't know. I guess people aren't running the Pyromancer now because of cards like Muster for Battle as much. I feel like that's kind of an anti, like
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I think I screwed that up. I think I played a Muster for Battle and Pyromancer, thinking I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I definitely thought that it was going to like clear everything first.
Yeah, right.
Do the AoE first, and then I would get burnt. But no,
right.
My poor Silverhand Fiery Death, RIP 2015 to 2015. It's
well met, Gonch.
The light shall burn you.
Yeah, that is. So I don't BM, but just to get off a little tangent. When I'm playing Priest and it's turn 2 and I don't have anything to play, I always heal the opponent's face and always say the light shall burn you every time.
Thank you.
Every time.
Thank you.
I don't think it's really BM, but I make sure to do that.
I think that's funny.
I do too.
Great.
If someone does to me, I go thank you.
I try and coax people in. That's what I do.
Oh, try to coax them into doing it.
Well, if I show them lethal and just wait for the concede.
Oh, you meanie.
Like, come on, do it. It's like giving them a gun with one bullet in it. It's like, do it.
I dare you.
Yeah, just go. Be the real man. Take your own life.
So Go ahead.
I played a game against an oil rogue, and I was not getting anything. I had like 4 spare parts in hand, and I go like I knew I was gonna lose this turn, so I top deck and I was like, "Yep, don't got it." Whirling Blades, swing with my Mad Scientist. 3 cards, or I think I top decked something irrelevant. But 3 other spare parts in hand. Time Rewinder, send it back, play it. Time Rewinder, send it back, play it. Time Rewinder, send it back, play it. Thank you, concede.
Yeah. Well met.
I hope I like when I lose like that. I hope like I do that stuff in the hopes that my opponent is like, oh, that was funny. That's why you lost.
Yeah. Anything else about Paladin?
Someone buff. Please buff Bolvar.
Yeah.
Please, if you're listening. There's some very sad people.
Should that be a counter where, like, are you thinking whenever a minion dies, regardless of whether it's in your hand, it gets a buff? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That would be.
Okay.
That's all I want, Blizz. Just please.
That might make it worth, because otherwise you're mulliganing for it. And I think we've talked about this a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of
we've definitely touched on it.
Who wants to mulligan for a 5-drop in a Paladin deck? You know.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We'll go on to Priest. You know, we've talked about that a little bit.
I think it's good. It's like the same sort of thing with my, I guess, control warrior opinion, is that the archetype is so solidified.
Yes. Yeah.
That at the like no one's really sort of, I guess, branched out. There's obviously those, you know, mech warrior, mech priest, mech trial things, but it's obviously not that great.
I feel like it's added to it, you know, like you know, you have this usually there's a one of that, or you'll see the circle combo, what's that card called?
Arcanine
the Arcanine Soul Priest circle combo. But I'm seeing people play that, and then they'll throw in like 1 or 2 Lights of Naru to do 3 damage and summon that, which is really strong. I like that.
And then use their zombie chows to trade.
When that was released, when that came out, I'm like, oh, that's perfect, because you can play that, get the early game tempo, or at the end of the game, it's a 1 mana 5 damage to your opponent's spell. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've won games. Obviously, I wouldn't say this is an OTK deck, but I've won games where it's, you know, you throw 2 of those on the board and circle, and you know there's 10 damage to the face.
Holy shit!
I've won plenty of games doing that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I mean
met.
Yeah, still playing Shadow Word Deaths, at least one of. I'm not seeing a lot of the Thief Priest with the Shrinkmeisters and the, you know, double Cabal Shadow Priest. I'm always seeing 1 in a deck, but not 2 of those Cabals.
I think that's that was kind of like I can't remember. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Like a fad, I guess. Where
Yeah.
it was like the like do the mind control thing, like it's so good. And I guess it was okay for a little while. But
Do you think that's because of Paladin? I mean, because I feel like, you know, when Mech Mage, we had Zoo, Mech Mage, and Face Hunter. I feel like Thief Priest is a good, I don't know about counter, but a good answer to it if you've got the right cards. Is Paladin might be a little more difficult to
it's
deal
good
with.
against Mech Mage. I know
know.
that. It's good against Mech Mage, kinda. It's not so effective against mid-range Hunter. Not so effective against Oil Rogue.
Yeah,
Which are kind of the big things, and mid-range Druid.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's the reason why it's not a big deal. And there's honestly, like, what are you gonna steal from a mid-range Paladin? Like Knife Juggler, Shielded Mini Bot.
Well, if you steal Shielded, I mean that's really good, but that's kind of like you're saying that's kind of it. Or you steal a Quartermaster, maybe. I don't know.
Like the preference when you do, to my understanding, the preference when you do, what's the thing that steals the card, steals your creature until end of turn?
Shadow Madness.
Shadow Madness, yeah.
Shadow Madness? Yeah, okay. So when you Shadow Madness a mid-range Paladin, you're not going to be able to kill his creature most of the time, which kind of stings. Because they're going to have a Shielded Mini-Bot who's going to have a shield, or they're going to have a Knife Juggler, and they just played either Shielded Mini-Bot or Muster for Battle. So he's still, I mean, you'll be able to go to face or whatever. Like I think the whole point of that thing is to trade like with the creatures and kill both the creatures.
Yeah.
In situations it can work against mid-range Paladin. The Cabal Shadow Priest would be good, but by the time you get that, it's probably going to be irrelevant.
Turn 6 is a little it's a little late in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, when it does happen, and for some reason, if that shielded mini boss still has a shield on it, it's just
epic.
Well played.
That's the dream. Yeah. 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 I mean, other than that, Vol'jin, here's a little discussion. How do we feel about that card? Because I remember when that was announced, everyone says, "Oh, it's the most."
It's trash.
Yeah, it's
not trash. I don't think at all. I think
it's good. It's good against I guess Ramp Druid against the Ancient of War. It's like
against your control decks.
Decent. Like it's good against it's not good against Oil Rogue. For the most part, kind of. It's good against mid-range Hunter. It's good against mid-range Druid and Ramp Druid. I'll count that as one kind of. Because we don't really see a lot of Ramp Druid. It's decent against Mech Mage, so we'll give that like half a point. It's good against Control Warrior.
You think so? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like I had reverse dyslexia there.
So let's say it's like 4 points, and then what was the other one that I was? Mid-range Shaman is being played now, so that's like 5 points.
So
that's pretty good.
It's basically what we're getting at is it's good against decks that don't play a lot of small minions, but play one big minion every turn.
And that's kind of what the meta kind of do. Like it was in the beginning. In the beginning, like the first week was like play all the decks. Like play all the decks that are going to get you ranks quickly. And then the next week it was okay. Now we're going with like burst aggro kind of decks. That's why Mech Mage was good. That's why aggro Mech Shaman was good. That's why Face Hunter was good. Oil Rogue good. And now we're kind of moving towards the mid-range kind of stuff, where Oil Rogue is still good. Mid-range Hunter is much better. Mid-range Druid and Ramp Druid are much better. Mid-range Paladin is good. Mid-range Mech Shaman and mid-range Shaman. I like the mid-range Shaman version better than the Mech Shaman version. But it's we've moved from the obvious week one to we basically moved from burst to mid-range, and I think with that Vol'jin is really, really good. But because we strayed from burst, whereas there's a little bit less aggro now, Priest kinda is a little worse maybe, because you can't Shadow Word Pain as many things, and you can't Cabal Shadow Priest many things, and you can't Shadow Madness things, so
yeah.
Single tier. I really do like Priest. Like I feel really bad for Priest players because their deck is not ever tier 1, like ever.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. Like that's a cool deck.
They've come a long way, and then now they're I don't say they're the worst deck, but
the
they've
journey
stepped back.
isn't over.
Yeah.
No, I would never say they're the worst deck. It's like such a experienced niche thing. Same thing with like, particularly on ladder. It's much more like, even in professional play at the moment, it's not like that great. But like most things, it seems to just take one person to figure out one combination in the deck, and then it'll just explode.
Right.
But I think, Priest will always be, particularly in like, I guess, best of sevens and stuff like that, when you need to bring like 5 decks.
Who is it? Amaz?
But even then,
Amaz is the guy who takes
Amaz.
Priest all the way.
Amaz, it's Amaz. The Orange Jesus himself.
Priest man.
Yeah, if he's not known for Priest, he's known for Ragnaros. His sniping Ragnaros. Hits whatever he wants. All right, well, go ahead. So
we were just waiting on pins and needles for Nostarius in 10 minutes. It's like,
well, so I mean that's it. We've talked about Rogue, Shaman. Anything?
Shaman was good for about a week and a half, 2 weeks in the middle of the month with the Mech Shaman. I had so much fun playing it, but then people learned how to play against it and adjusted accordingly, and it became like crap. But still, you still have those times where you win on turn 3 because of Welling Zapomatic shenanigans, which is always good fun.
So I mean, the name of the game there is board control, right? If you don't have it, you lose. If you can keep it away from your player, you win.
You ain't got it.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean we've talked about that a lot, and it's still the same. If you're playing against it, just try to keep the board empty. I guess is the main thing there. Warlock, again, we've already talked about them. It's still the same. Zoo, I guess 3 decks. Zoo, Handlock, and
backseat.
Yeah, even that.
Kind of bad for Warlock.
Yeah,
but at least it's seen its life.
Nobody feels bad for Warlock. It spent the
so much time.
Previous months, every month except for this month, it would have been, I guess, top played everywhere in the world. Yeah. And for once, it seemed to be knocked off its pedestal, but that will change eventually as the meta, I guess, fluctuates.
I miss Zoo, man. I really like Zoo.
I don't.
I do. I love it. I like it mainly because it was my first deck, and when I crafted Doom Guards for the first time, I was like, so much power, so good.
I'm just because there were
so happy.
There were talks about maybe Warlock's hero power needs a nerf. That card draw is so strong, and maybe 2 health isn't enough. But now we see that maybe it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's still in my opinion, the strongest hero ability.
I think that's not even disputable.
Yeah. But I guess we've seen that that doesn't make it the best deck necessarily. Even because I think there was a week where they called it the controlled demon deck was kind of a thing. I don't know
for a little bit because I counted the shit out of Mech Mage.
Is that what it was? Okay, because I mean it came in, and I remember that was a couple days that I wasn't playing, and then I started playing again. I just had a busy week that week, and I was like, where did it go? It kind of came and left.
Yeah, I saw Day 9 playing it, and I was like, dude, it's February 26th, and you're playing Demon Control Lock? Bro, get with the times. He's like,
this ain't no Valentine Day.
Yeah.
I'm 5 ranks ahead of Day 9 and get on my fucking level. When I saw that, I felt much better about my rank. Like, I used to love watching Day 9 streams for like StarCraft and stuff, and friends of mine who are like really, really, really good StarCraft players were like, "No, man, Day 9's shit. Like, nah, man, he just puts out good content. Like, whatever. I think it's funny. I think he's a cool guy."
Yeah.
And he knows a hell of a lot more than I do about StarCraft, and at one point he did about Hearthstone, but I guess I beat him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we should have I guess like bets, or not even bets, just like trying to push each other to get to Legend next month. It's just who on DRC can do it first.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot this month. I'm super, super happy. I think there's no Like a lot of people want to say the one key to getting legend. And
it's playing games. Oh, thanks DRC for those that helpful. Yeah,
it's honestly, if there is one key to playing to get legend, it's you just have to get to rank 5 before half the month is gone.
It's so lame. It's like when someone successful tells you the only way to get anywhere in life is hard work. It's like, why couldn't it just be like a magic answer? Why, like, if I eat like my vegetables every day, I just suddenly become better at it.
So you mean I can't just play Face Hunter to legend in a week?
You can, but not in a week. Unless you hit like the streak of your life, which will happen every day.
Anybody who does that is 1, ridiculously lucky, or 2, is absolutely full of shit, or both.
Or 3 will need to see their doctor because of cancer.
I don't know anybody who plays 1 deck to legend. I'm playing 5 decks right now. Well, 4. I stopped playing Mech Shaman, but I'm playing 4 decks right now. Mech Mage, Oil Rogue, Mid-Range Hunter, and Face Hunter. Off and on a little bit when I really, really need to.
Mushu rebuttal.
I would argue that it's better to play 1 deck. Just because you'll by the time you get to legend, you know the matches inside and out, and it's just I think obviously playing those other decks, you get to know your like all the matchups better because you're playing all these other decks. But I think first time legend, just spam the crap out of 1 good deck, and is the best way to do it.
I think that's one way of looking at it. I wouldn't entirely agree. I think
Steadily.
I think it's. I don't want to. There are people that like to do that. They like to play 1 deck and they like to get really, really good at that deck. But I think if you play, you don't have to play 4 decks like I did. I think that was an outstretch where I like mainly for the most part I was playing mid-range and Oil Rogue, and then I got really freaking desperate because I got all the way down to bottom rank 5, and I started playing Mech Mage, and I got I got all the way up to rank 3. I was like, oh yeah, hey, this is the deck that people were playing because it was good. I like the idea of, yes, you should play 1 deck so you can understand the matchups and you can play that deck better. But if you have an understanding of all of the decks and you have a very, very good understanding, you don't have to have like a professional level understanding, but if you have a very good level of understanding of all of your decks and you're playing about 3 decks, I think it's okay to play 3 decks. I don't think personally it's good to just spam 1 deck. Unless it's like Oil Rogue or maybe Mech Mage, maybe Mid-Range Hunter. Nah. If it's like Oil Rogue or Mid-Range Druid, I think it's maybe okay. Decks that are mid-rangey, kind of have a lot of flexibility, have very good matchups. Mid-Range Hunter, I would actually probably agree with. But don't spam Face Hunter and expect to hit legend. Don't do that because it might not happen. It's likely, like there's a chance.
There's an 80% chance of winning.
Chance that it'll happen.
So you're saying there's a chance? I don't know. I think both ways would work. I don't know.
Personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I guess it just depends on whether you want to try to counter the meta or just grind your way to victory, as it were. All right, well, Warlock's there. Last one. I mean, Warrior, there's really not much to say on this. It's kind of the same. Everyone's running the same kind of cards. Death's Bite, the new Shield Maiden, everyone's running one of those.
There's literally
no. I've seen people try to throw in
Hitler.
I've seen people try to throw in Iron Juggernauts, but it's not consistent. I don't know. I'm hoping with the next set of cards we see something that'll let it change. Yeah, I mean, in the OTK War, I've seen it every now and then where they kind of run the Raging Worgens, and then they'll buff it with Inner Rages and Taskmasters, but I haven't seen a lot of those. It's mostly, if you see a warrior, chances are it's a control warrior. Anything else? And then we talked about all the classes.
That was good.
I think we're good. I think it was a good February roundup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good. All right, Matt, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm trying. I got DC'd. I'm so close to being in.
I'm connecting to it, but it's not working. Like
we've got to mention there might be like a huge amount of lag or something.
Yeah,
because there's so many people trying to get on at the same time.
Well, I'll go ahead and end it here. That is Meta Anatomy for this week, and we'll be right back for the outro. DRC would like to thank Brainiacs for their support of this podcast. If you have a tech idea for improving your business's workflow, Brainiacs can provide a turnkey solution to specifically fit your needs. You can contact them at www.brainiux.com. Thank you for listening again. That is all for this week. We've got a special episode next week. I'm not going to spoil anything yet. You'll see, though. Again, you can find us on our website at www.deathrattlecrew.com. You can send us an email at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. Find us social media. You can find us on YouTube at Death Rattle Crew and Twitter at Death Rattle Crew. Until next time, I am Mike Tech2 Hearn. That is Matt Mushu Hill and Tom Jasup Jessup. Thank you, guys.